In the year 2000, when the Asylum Seeker Accommodation Centre in Lizzie-Woolen, Athlone first opened, it was intended as a temporary solution for an immediate need. Now, nearly a quarter of a century later, that centre is still open and has become a permanent fixture on the town's outskirts, and according to some recent reports, it is set to be expanded to accommodate even more asylum seekers of unknown origin. And so, we spoke to one local woman, Geraldine Stokes, about how she and some of her neighbours on Blackberry Lane in the nearby area feel about this situation.
Do you think they're putting these individuals in it because they don't think the travellers will be upset with it and they have to accept it? And I said, geez, I don't know.
So would you feel like you're not really being represented politically at this point?
I think the whole country feels that way, not us as the travellers like a Blackberry Lane. I think the whole country is saying the one thing. You're just not listening to us. You're not hearing what we need. You know, you're being kind to everybody else, but you're not actually listening to the needs of the people that's in the country that's crying out for appointments, whether it's dentist, whether it's doctor, whether it's surgeon or whatever. You know, there's just massive waiting lists, and it's put so much pressure on the country that people don't know how to react. And if they just, if they voice an opinion, they're automatically branded as racist or far right for having that opinion. Just ask a question, So as of about a week and a half ago, we, the residents in Blackberry Lane, actually seen in social media posts that the asylum seeker site that was out there previously has been extended to house different individuals coming in. There was no consultation. As it is, there's not a lot of jobs in Athlone. There's not a lot of GPs to go around. There's not a lot of dentist appointments. To get a dentist appointment now is near impossible. So I think that's the worry now with a lot of even elders in Blackberry Lane. If we're waiting maybe 10 days, 2 weeks for an appointment, even though it's kind of an emergency, what's going to be like now? So it's nothing against the individual. It's actual the amount of people that's coming in, and can our town cater for them? As it is, we were just discussing there with my father, the storage system is so bad in this area now, and I'm just thinking, if these numbers are true, up to 4,000 people getting brought in, imagine the pressure this is going to put in the storage system that's already blocked up, that has to be unblocked every week. It's just these tiny little things that mightn't mean much to people that's living outside of the area, but the people that's living inside the area, there are big concerns. It's genuine fear. It's genuine fear, in the long run. What does it mean for our local shops? What does it mean for our GPs and dentists? We're already struggling to get appointments. It's not just the residents of Blackberry Lane. My father does suffer not great health, and for him to even get an appointment, he could be waiting 2 weeks. But that's the norm. That's the norm around the country, accepting that. But when there's so many individuals promised in your area, there's a fear of, okay, if we really needed a GP and their hands are tied, what are we going to do? There's no big hospital here to go straight to. Not everybody has transport to get to Ballinasloe, County Galway, So there's just a sense of fear in everybody. And it just seems like the government isn't listening to people. They're not actually hearing people, They're just pleasing everybody else and not listening to the actual individuals.
The number of people that we're hearing might potentially be moved in up to 4,000, is that right?
This is the variation that we're getting. So 1 minute we're hearing, there's only 140 individuals being brought in here. So we at this time we didn't know if it was men, women, children, what is it, So then the next thing we're hearing, there's going to be 1,000 individuals being tented in here, in this tented community. And then we're hearing this last 3 or 4 days, it's actually becoming a hub down. There could be up to 4,000. So you can imagine now everyone, their anxiety is a bit high because they don't know the actual number because no one is consulting them,
The Department of Integration say they reach out to people, they tell people, here's what's going to happen, and they give out documents. Did that happen in this case?
That's exactly what we hear. We'll hear on the news, people has been read, people has been consulted, but until it's actually in your area, realise, okay, they haven't been consulted. I was actually on Facebook my own self about 10 days ago, or 2 weeks ago, whatever, and I said, did you know? No, they just thought it was another like fabrication of Facebook, like, you know, because you know the stories to be on Facebook. And then it was actually someone, I'm near sure it was near Paul Hogan or someone from the town that actually confirmed it. There's no one else to confirm it, do you know? Another individual came to me last week, no harm by it. He was being totally respectful. And he said, do you think they're putting all of these individuals in behind the Traveller? Because this is a day home. There's no bedrooms in here. It's just a day home. It's living space. Do you think they're putting these individuals in because they don't think the travellers will be upset with it and they have to accept it? And I said, geez, I don't know. And we never thought about it because it seems overwhelming for us. Everything is being through us, but no one's consulting us, putting us in the right road, like, you know, that it's going to be fine. So just put it this way. We all have a fear of the unknown, but there's no one to make us feel better. No one has given us advice or telling us it's going to be fine. But people are so tired of it happening in various towns that they're exhausted. They just don't want to talk up no more. Like, you know, they're just afraid to show concern, to be honest. Do you know?
Why do you think people are afraid to show concern?
Because they're not being heard. It's simple. It's that they're just not being heard. No one's listened to their concerns. No one's, like, if it seems to me, and it's like it's nasty kind of say, it seems like the individual needs of every other one is their needs is put second to the needs of these tents that's being erected, like, you know. And so all of these words are being threw out, like, you know, oh, you're a racist if you say this, or you're far right if you say that. You're not a racist when you show concern for your area, when you don't know what's going on. Do you know, if someone actually came out and spoke to you, give you a heads up and say, okay, this is what's happening, at least you can prepare. There'll be shops erected, GPs will be prepared. But if now it just seems like everyone's overwhelmed and they don't know what to do at this point, you know?
Do you think that what's happening here will impact your vote at the upcoming election? You don't have to say who you're voting for. You can if you want, but I'm wondering, has it influenced your decision when you're deciding, oh, I'm going to vote for this person and not that person?
As you're probably well aware, within the Traveller community, it's hard enough to get them out voting because they don't have a confidence in a particular person, you know, because you'd be promised, oh no, we'll make the country fair for you, there won't be no racial slur or whatever anymore, and it still happens. So it's hard for them to get them out vote. So when they do have a particular party that they're attached to, if they're let down by that party, it's kind of hard to gather them back up to get in voting, you know. So that's so it does in a way impact, but also you're trying to bear in mind maybe the local TDs and that didn't know either, and if they did, then they weren't being very vocal with the residents. Mm-hmm. You know, so it kind of leaves you not wanting to vote, to be honest.
So would you feel like you're not really being represented politically at this point?
I think the whole country feels that way. Not us as the travellers, like a Blackberry Lane. I think the whole country is saying the one thing. You're just not listening to us. You're not hearing what we need. Do you know, you're being kind to everybody else, but you're not actually listening to the needs of the people that's in the country that's crying out for appointments, whether it's dentist, whether it's doctor, whether it's surgeon or whatever, you know. There's just massive waiting lists, and it's put so much pressure on the country that people don't know how to react. And if they voice an opinion, they're automatically branded as racist or far right for having that opinion. Just ask a question, like, you know. So